All right, well, 27 years old. I've done construction I started framing when I was 13 years old. I'm the youngest of all my mom's kids. My dad passed away when I was 13. And I had one brother that was just older than me by 3 years. We were the only two that were still home when my dad passed away and my mom got sick. It's rheumatoid arthritis. He stepped up and started to kind of help take care of as she worked less and less. And 2 years later, when he was 18 years old, he was about to get married and I was 15 years old. I knew that he was trying to figure out what to do. My mom was still pretty sick. She was trying to work, but she couldn't do much. I went to my mom and I told her, I says, Mom, my older brother's name is Anthony. And I says, go tell Anthony he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. I'll make sure it's taken care of. And I wasn't a very good student in school. So at 15 years old, I dropped out of school. 2 weeks into 10th grade, I dropped out, went to work full time and paid the rent and took care of my mom. So from then on, that was my job. When I did drop out of school, and I had a lot of praise to my mom because even though I took care of her and it was a lot of work for me and a lot of growing for me, a lot of responsibility for me, she pushed me and she told me, she said, you're not just gonna drop out of school and just have no vision. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And I said, well, I want to own a business. She's like, okay, what do you want to do? And my first thought was, I don't want to frame. I had all these big ideas and everything, and more and more I looked into them, the more I realized that those ideas that I had, the reality of them didn't really line up with what I actually wanted in life. Big important thing to me is family, and all those things would have pulled me away. So I kept framing, and I was determined, well, I'm framing, and even though I don't want to frame, I'm gonna do the best I can while I'm here. I ended up starting my own business framing, and when I was 18, even with the thought in the back of my mind was, I don't know how long I'm gonna do this, but I said I'm gonna just do the best I can while I'm doing it. I've been running that ever since, and I've tried to do other little things here and there, and some stuff's worked out, but not in a huge sense. Well, I've learned that I know how to build, but I love building. I love building, and I've always, in the back of my mind, wanted to learn more about development. I guess a little bit with the background of taking care of my mom. I don't know how to put it really. I guess I let it be an excuse. Told myself that I can't make these other risks, or I can't try and do this or whatever, because I have to make sure that all this over here is taken care of. And so when it comes to taking that leap, I've used that as an excuse. And so when I was first introduced to this, there was a gal named Michelle Stone. She's like, hey, you always talk about development. I think this would be a really good avenue for you. It was, just a couple weeks before the last 2-day, and I signed up for it. It was awesome, loved it, loved everything about it, and opened my eyes to a lot more. But at the same time, it also made me reflect. I was looking at someone like Mike and the level of business and organization, and just that level of ground that he plays on. It scared me. It scared me in a way. The fact is, like, okay, I know there's so many things in my business that I've got to get in order. I've got to fix. I know I could do better, and I mean, I haven't stalled. I know I haven't stalled. I've been working on it, but I know I could go faster. So I want to get into business with Mike, and I really want to do those things. And so many things that he says I'm not familiar with, and a lot of what he talks about, it's fascinating to me to just sit and be a sponge and listen and soak it up as much as I can. A lot of people who, I guess, think like me, go to different seminars, things like that. They dip into something, some business venture, thing like that they think they want to get into, and they get into it for just a little bit and they realize, oh, maybe that's not what I want to do, or they're just afraid of committing. Something really big that hit me yesterday and today was Mike really remembered me. Not that he remembered every detail, but even just yesterday, kind of like points at me like, you're suspect. You didn't go to the ADU day, you're not on the coaching calls, and it's like, you got bigger stuff to worry about. Why the heck how do you even notice? So that was big for me. And then today he made the comment, and this resonates with me big time. Hits me hard big time, because the biggest fear for myself was always, as a kid, was I wanted my dad to be proud of me. That's huge for me, and still is. And so when he passed away when I was 13, and that was always a big worry of mine. If I don't want to disappoint my dad, don't want to disappoint my dad, and it kind of compounded into, I don't want to be a disappointment to anybody. Mike says to me today, he says, I had high hopes for you. I had high hopes for you because at the two-a-day, you were the first one to jump up and sign up for anything, and right there and ready to go and get it. And it's like, oh. In a way, it was like, thank you for that. And at the same time, it's like, gosh, that hurts. It sucks. I let Mike down. I let somebody else down. No, in reality, I let myself down. Again, went to the January seminar, the 2-day, and then I was on the Regents coaching calls, kind of hit and miss. I've been trying to restructure things so I can make it work. I haven't been not doing anything. I could just do more to make that happen. Because the reality is if you want something, if you really want something, you'll do it. I had a talk with my wife back in November and December. I was building a hotel in California, and it was the worst job I've ever done. We were treated like absolute crap. The first job I've ever actually considered, I'm gonna walk off this job. I'm so sick of the way they're treating us. In the end, I decided, no, I finish this, get it done. I'm just never gonna work for these guys again. And I came back and told my wife, I want to do something else. I really want to do something else. Part of it's because I feel like this last year I've really struggled in my business, and so I feel like I've got nothing to offer. And for, because most people think, well, if I don't have money, I don't have anything. And that's me. It's like, I don't have any money to offer, so I've got nothing to offer. And then this comes up, and that's kind of where it started. She's like, what do you want to do? It's like, I want to do some kind of real estate, some kind of development, something bigger than what I am. And I haven't taken it where I know I could.